Hello, this is Omi Naruzi with a quick recap of what I did for the Software Design and Development capstone. For Sprint 1, my first user story was, as an admin, I would like the application to have the same look and feel across all platforms so that I can use my tablet and laptop on different days. This was done with the following use case of opening a website, typically on a computer, but also having the extended functionality of opening it from a tablet and possibly from a phone. My other user story was, as a customer, I would like to have a modern-style navigation system for switching between pages so that I only have to learn the system itself and not the application's navigation. Now here is a state diagram showing what would happen in each case. So we have the login page, and from whatever current page, you can go to user management through the user management link, driver management through the driver management link, and so on and so forth. And if you click the logout link, you are taken back to the login page. For Sprint 2, my first user story was, as an admin, I would like to add new administrators to the system so that I do not have to work by myself 24/7 or can have multiple administrators when there are a lot of customers. This was done using the user object, and the user object was used by the user management bean and the user service. The user management bean calls on the user service, which extends the service class. My second story for Sprint 2 was, as an admin, I would like to see a list of all buses so that I can keep track of all the buses, drivers running, and those that are not. Here's a sequence diagram for that case. So we have an administrator, they click the bus management link, the UI requests the list of buses from the server, they get the list of buses returned, and they're redirected to a bus management page which shows the list of buses. If you select true from the active dropdown, the list of active buses is requested, it is returned from the server, and you are shown a list of active buses. If the false is selected from the dropdown, then you request a list of inactive buses from the server. The server then returns a list of inactive buses, and the list of inactive buses are also shown. This was used, the bus object was used by both the bus management bean and the bus service. Bus management bean calls on bus service, which extends service. For Sprint 3, my first user story was, as an admin, I would like to have previous stops displayed on the Add Stops page so that I do not accidentally add a stop that already exists. Here is a sequence diagram for this case. So as an administrator, you click the Add Stop button, you request a stop list, and the database returns the stops list, and then it is shown on the map as existing stop markers. When you click the location on the map, there is a form input to show that you are adding a stop, where you put the stop name. You input the name and click Add, and the stop is sent to the database to be added. That stop is then returned, and then the marker is shown. And here we are, much like the other two. We have a bus stop object, which is used by the stop management bean and the bus stop service, and the stop management bean calls on the bus stop service, which extends service. My second user story for Sprint 3 was, as an admin, I would like to be able to delete a bus so that I can get rid of buses no longer in service. Here is a sequence diagram for this case. As an administrator, you click the bus management link, the UI requests the bus list, and the bus list is then returned from the database, and then you'll redirect to the show bus list table, and then when you click delete as one of the options, you are redirected to a confirmation page. If you confirm that you want to delete, then you send that action to the database, it returns confirmation, and then you request the bus list again. The bus list is returned without that bus any longer being in the database, and then you get the bus list again shown on the table. This, like the others, was using the bus object from bus management bean, and the bus management bean calls on bus service, which extends service. For Sprint 4, my user story was as an admin, I want to have a page for creating routes that shows the list of available bus stops so that I can select stops to associate with that route. Now this used the create route bean, which called upon bus route stops, which is made of a bus route and bus stops. Here is the sequence diagram. You click the Add on Edit Route page. You request the list of stops from the UI to the server. The server then sends the list of stops, and then the UI shows the administrator the list of stops on the Create Route page. If you click the checkbox near a stop label, then a request is shown, or a request is sent to the server to add the stop to the list of selected stops for the route, and a confirmation or error is sent back, and the checkbox is checked. The second user story for Sprint 4 was as an admin, I want to have a map on the page for creating routes that shows selected stop markers so that I can visually keep track of routes. Here is the sequence diagram for adding a marker. Here's the admin. You click Add on Edit Route page, and a request for a list of stops is sent to the server. The server sends back the list of stops. Then the UI redirects to the Create Route page and shows the list of stops to the administrator. And then when the checkbox is cleared near the checked near the stop label, then a marker is shown on the map. For Sprint 5, my first user story was as an admin, I want to have a solid line on the map on the page for creating routes so that I can visually understand the route's path. Here's another sequence diagram. We have the administrator. They click the stop checkbox. Then a request to add the stop to the route's list of stops is sent, and you either return confirmation or error, and then the marker is added to the map and the path is drawn between those stops. The second user story for Sprint 5 was as an admin, I want to be able to adjust each stop's number on the page for creating routes so that I can change the order of stops on the route. Here's another sequence diagram. We have an administrator. You click the stop for checkbox, or you click the checkbox next to stops. A request is sent to add the stop to the route's list of stops. You return the confirmation. The marker is then added. The path is drawn between the stops. You select a different number from the stop number drop down, and then the request is sent to change the stop number for the selected stop, and then the confirmation is sent and the path is then redrawn.